Well, this is it. This is the Colt. It's an Agent 38 lightweight little snub nose revolver. I believe it's a D frame. But what makes this so special is this belonged to Milton, my Uncle Milton. Growing up on the island and stuff, he was awesome. I tell you, he made me laugh every time. And he had this, and I remember saying to him, "Hey, I want. If you ever think of selling that, I want it. I want to buy it." Because I said, cause I'm really into the Colt revolvers, especially little snubbies like this. And I remember him shooting it, and he had a bag of ammo that he was shooting that he goes, "I don't know what this is," and he was just pulling the trigger on it, and I remember cringing because I said, "Oh man," because it's such a classic and a really cool historical piece, and you're just kind of blasting whatever out of it. And I hope those aren't plus P or whatnot, being an alloy frame and as old as it is. But I tell you, he didn't care. He was just he was out having fun, and I would say that's the best way to describe him. He was just always having fun. He never ever failed to make me laugh. I started hanging out with him a lot. During when he was getting a little older, he was getting on with age, and there was a lot of things he could still do. He would do it on his own, but he shouldn't be. He should have somebody there with him. So I started accompanying him to range days and going up to the mountain and shooting animals. Hunting for what little he could still do and everything. So we had a lot of good times, and one of the best memories. Some of the stories I'll share, I guess, one of the ones that I always remember was we went to the NRA banquet dinner on the island, and they were doing this NRA banquet dinners that were to benefit a shooting range for the island of Hawaii. And of course that never happened, but but we went there, and because they were running out of food, they were calling tables by number, and they said, if you we'll get you numbers, tables 1 through 8 or whatever. We'll go up there and get some food, and then you can, whatever. So I think we were like table number 18 or something. And he'd tell me, he goes, "Man, I am starving. What are we gonna do?" And so and this is the kind of person he was. He would just he went in his wallet and he took out $2, and he went up to the waiter and he says, "Hey." He gave him the $2. He said, "Call our table next." And I remember the guy looking at him like, "What do you do?" And he says, "What?" And he goes, "Call our table next." And the guy said, "Oh no, I can't do that," and passed. And he took his $2, put it back in his wallet, and he looked at me and he said, he goes, "What? Does $2 not buy anything anymore?" Of course, he had a lot more choice vocabulary words, very colorful. A lot of stuff we don't repeat here on the channel, but things like that always remind me of him. He would just say things outright. It wasn't to be mean or cruel. That was his sense of humor. That was his way of having fun and laughing at something at somebody else's expense, really. So. But I can't even tell you how many fond memories I have of going places with him, doing things with him. Eating McDonald's. At the time I was just really always eating McDonald's, and he used to laugh at me and say, "You can't be doing that. You're gonna die," and all that kind of stuff. And so, on my last choices there, when I decided to move away from the island, and I remember telling him that and everything, and I was sitting there having iced tea with him on his patio, and we were talking and for a while, and he came back out and he threw a bag on the table, and this was in that bag, and I said, "What is that?" And he said, "That's yours. You're going to take it with you to where you're going." And I opened it up and I said, "I can't take this from you." And he says, "Sure you can." He goes, "Because what are you going to do? Throw it in my casket?" And that was exactly what he told me, and that was his way of doing things. That's how he said things to me. He was very he was very matter of fact about a lot of stuff. But there it is. But unfortunately, my Uncle Milton, he passed away, and you know what? I know he would never want me to sit there and mope about it. He wouldn't want anybody to do that. That was just the way he is. You know, he just. So I remember the good times and remember all the funny moments with him. It just was awesome all the time being around him. I remember taking most of the time off work during that time. I was still working, but I had taken about three days off during the middle of the week during that time and stretch, and that's what I did every week. I spent those 3 days with him, doing whatever, taking things to the garbage, trimming the avocado trees or whatever, and going to lunch with him. That's what we did. That's what I did. So anyway, I miss him, but you know what? I think he's in a better place now because I know he was getting on with age, and he definitely was. He wasn't young. He lived a nice long life. So anyway, I'll always miss you, Uncle Mel, but this one here is for you.